One of the greatest abilities you can develop in your lifetime that will give you the greatest advantage you can possibly imagine is this. And by the way, not everybody is willing to follow this, and that's okay. But I'm going to explain to you the advantage and disadvantage if you are willing to accept what I'm about to share with you and follow and practice. I promise you, and I guarantee you, life is suddenly going to start to begin to work for you in every way. Your relationships are going to improve. Your finances are going to improve. Your health is going to improve. Your partnership, on every level. And here it is. Because I've seen two groups of people. If we want to just be really black and white, obviously there's gray, but let's just be very black and white. And here it is. It's called responsibility, meaning responsibility, the ability to respond and recognize that you always, always, and always have the possibility, the opportunity, and the potential, regardless of what you get hit with, you get to choose how you want to respond. And that gives you power. But now there's two ways this can go, because here's what I found. Group A is the people, and again, I'm not here to blame, judge, criticize, condone, none of my business. I'm here to share with you what works and what doesn't work, okay? And the choice is ours, and you get to decide. Group A is the kind of people, they are stuck in victim mindset, feeling sorry for themselves, drowning in self-pity. It's everybody else's fault. Somebody should rescue me. They should see me. They should do this. They should respect me. They should reciprocate. And so literally that person who is stuck in this frame, and it's my parents' fault. It's the trauma fault. It's the fault my past. It's the fault of my past. It's because of my education. It's because of the weather. It's because of the economy. It's because of the president. It's because of my ex. It's because of my partner. This person will always find something in somebody else to blame for their misfortune. And they become so good at it that what they also have learned is to manipulate the world around them, guilt trip people, shame people, criticize, judge people, that people should be this way and people should be that. And this person, literally, instead of pointing the finger inside and ask themselves, okay, this is what I'm experiencing right now in my life, I'm facing the truth, and instead of directing the attention to, okay, what can I do? And that's called responsibility. Responsibility doesn't mean you blame yourself for the past and for your parents and for the trauma. And by the way, let's just pause here. Trauma, okay, is a fact of life, is a fact of life. I have never met a person who hasn't had trauma, okay? So let's get real here. And yes, there's different degrees, but this life down here on earth is absolutely, you cannot escape this life without suffering, without trauma, without pain, without, look, life can be extremely, not just a little bit, cruel and demanding and unfair and vicious and mean and full of surprises, good, bad, and ugly, and everything in between. That's just a fact of life. But how you respond to all of that is the difference that makes the difference. And Group B, the people that are willing to realize and say, wait a minute, responsibility, accountability means I am accountable for my own happiness. I am responsible for my own happiness. I get to make changes in my life so that I can be at cause instead of at effect. And this is one of the first lessons actually, when I first learned about this whole self-development and how to know thyself and NLP, neuro-linguistic programming, and hypnotherapy and all, right? Hypnotherapy really is giving people the opportunity to hold up a mirror and say, okay, let me do this life review. Where maybe did I betray myself? Where was I abandoned? Where was I, right? And so when you get to see that life had already been full of lessons, it's about growth. And when you give yourself the opportunity to face the truth, and then instead of blaming everybody else, and look, I also don't want to take away this kind of self-pity and feeling sorry for yourself and wallowing. I understand it's very tempting. It feels so good, right, to wallow in that. And I'm not saying a little bit of that is actually not, it's healthy. A little bit of that is very good because at least you're willing to look at the truth and look at your problems. So yes, a little bit of that is really, really warranted, healthy, and useful, where you get to like understand, oh my God, this is what sucks in my life. This is what I don't like. This is beneath my standards. This doesn't agree with my values. Great. But then instead of staying down, this is what I don't recommend. Yes, self-pity is a little bit good, but don't stay there. That's the worst thing. That's literally that's toxic behavior toward yourself. Because that implies you are the victim and you're waiting for somebody to rescue you. And you are not, like, in other words, all of those things that you mentioned are what are in control of you, and you're not in control of you. And I don't recommend that, because as an adult, now, of course, we also have to set the criteria. I'm talking about if you are an adult who no longer depends on anybody around them. Because if you still depend on your parents for income, or if you still depend on certain people, and that's a different category, different story. But this is for people who are adult, but not only adult, but also adult archetype. Adult archetype is, I am willing and wanting to take responsibility for my life. I want to be at cause instead of effect. That means, what can I cause? What can I do today to make a difference in my life? I'm not happy with my finances. Great. That's a cause for celebration, because at least I'm willing to look at what is not the way I want, right? And then immediately I point the finger back. Okay, so what are you going to do about it? What are you willing to do about it? Maybe you need to learn something new. Maybe you need to reach out to people. Maybe you need to market better. Maybe you need lead generation. What can I do? I'm not happy in my relationship. Oh, I'm going to blame my partner. Easy, right? Oh, it's his fault, right? Again, that is group A. Don't recommend that. Instead, wait a minute. How can I change? What can I do to perhaps gain more intimacy, more connection, more depth? Always, so group B always starts with I. What can I do? And when you begin to live your life through this perspective, with this attitude, and yes, this takes courage and this takes practice. Look, in fact, I was just talking to a friend of mine for, I don't even know, at least 40 years. It hurts me to even, I lived. And of course, now I can see the opposite because I've completely changed that, but I lived in victim mindset for a long, long time. I can't, because I literally lived in, I had all kinds of excuses on why my life isn't working the way because I have an accent, because I don't have the education, because I'm an immigrant, because I started for the first 20, like I had so many excuses. I literally had an arsenal of, oh my God, all these cards, right? Anytime somebody, yep. And so my focus was constantly on excuses on why I couldn't, instead of the reasons why I can. So that is going to keep somebody stuck in a really bad place, and I don't recommend that. So, by the way, either way is hard. Either way is hard, because if one is stuck in victim mindset, then they're going to live their entire life complaining and blaming and shaming and criticizing and gossiping and venting. And the focus is always going to be out there. Oh, if only this, and if only that, and if only my boss, and if only these people, and if only women, and that is a pursuit to misery. That is a pursuit to more misery, because it will keep you stuck in a loop. repeating the same thing. Different characters are going to come and go, different, like same loop. Now the other heart, taking responsibility, being at cause, what can I cause, instead of always being at, oh my God, it's raining, so here, poor me once again, right? Oh, the economy, oh, poor me, oh, this is bad, oh, poor me. No, that's being at effect. That means, oh, it's all these people's fault and there's nothing I can do. And that is never the case. That is never, ever, ever. There's always something you can do. Viktor Frankl wrote the book A Man's Search for Meaning. He was the perfect role model. This was a man who went through a concentration camp, and every single day he could have wallowed in his misery. He could have felt sorry for himself. And please, out of all I don't think we can imagine. Of course we can't. But instead, he got up every day and he asked himself, what can I do today? How can I be at cause? How can I take responsibility for my well-being, for my happiness? Dare I say happiness? And it makes no sense. So please forgive, but that it's a small book. It will move you to the core. It will shake you. And it's probably one of the best self-development besides Relentless by Tim Grover. Actually, those two books in regard to hypnotherapy, the best books about hypnotherapy, and by the way, they are not about hypnotherapy at all, but one of the most compelling books about the human psyche, Know Thyself, are those two books. A Man's Search for Meaning by Viktor Frankl and Relentless by Tim Grover. Very, very radically different books, but talk about feeling moved. And both of these people always with the mindset of, okay, what can I do? And the hard in that is that you're blaming yourself for everything, which again, I learned, and I'm so appreciative. Anytime something goes bad in my life, I just automatically blame myself. Okay, it's my fault. I want it to be my fault. Why? Because if it's my fault, then I assume I can fix it. And I would prefer to be the fixer and the cleaner than the one that is at effect. Oh, there's no damsel in distress. There's nothing I can do. Either way is going to be hard. This hard requires courage, conviction in yourself, clarity. Take action. Yes, you're going to get rejected. Yes, you're going to get dumped on. Yes, people are not going to like it. Yes, you're going to get judged and criticized. All of that, yes, because you're going to be out there. And when you're out there, you are a target, a very convenient target. But once again, you get to choose. Do you want to be prey or do you want to be the predator? Do you want to be victim mindset or do you want to be winner mindset? We as human beings, that is a choice we can make. And once a human being decides consciously, deliberately, purposefully, and with the utmost responsibility, which one am I gonna take? Again, this gonna keep you stuck in the same loop. Same misery, same suffering, same pain. Different people will come in through a revolving door, but pretty much the same characters. This here, expect miracles. Literally, expect doors to open, opportunities to flow to you. At the same time, expect a lot of envy, jealousy, people not going to like it. They don't have to like it. This is your life. So you can choose. But it's really about the attitude. How do you frame it? How do you look at life? And again, for me, and this is, I teach my clients, and the minute they are willing, and again, this takes a lot of courage. This takes a lot of really appreciation. But the minute you are at cause, which means, hey, everything's just going to be my fault. Yes, everything is my fault. Because if it's my fault, then I can begin to ask myself, okay, what can I do here to make a difference? What can I learn? How can I grow? How can I move? What other chess pieces can I, right? Because that ultimately puts you into the position of you're in control of your life, you're in power. You get to decide over your decisions, over your conversations, over how you think and how you feel about something, which then will change what you say and what you do. And those are your 4 superpowers. And once you recognize that you can be at cause, you can be the deciding factor, your life will change. It will take off. Things that you couldn't even dream about will begin to happen because you have become the leader in your life and you have decided that nothing and nobody can push your buttons anymore. You go through life like a predator. You're always looking, okay, what's good, what's bad, what can I change, what can I not change, right? And I highly recommend that because, again, I've seen this not just in my life, but with every single client that I've ever worked with. The minute they were willing to take responsibility, the ability to respond and say, hey, this is what sucks in my life. What can I do? Instead of waiting, hoping, praying that other people are somehow going to fix it. Because that's an effect, and that's very victim. Because what if those people never come? What if the weather never changes? What, right? Any questions? You know where to find me. I'll see you soon.